8th grade pre-algebra. In this video, I'm going to teach you how to add fractional numbers. When you're going to add fractional number, you have two different options. Number one, when the fraction has the same denominators. And number two, when the fraction has different denominators. Beginning now for the first type of the exercise. Same denominator. In this case, you have 2 divided by 3 plus 1 over 3, and you need to add these two fractions. Because they have the same denominators, you write the same denominators in the answers. You keep the denominator and you add the numerators. 2 plus 1 is equal 3 over 3, and you simplify, and the answer is 1. Another example, 5 divided by 8 plus 7 divided by 8. Because the fraction has the same denominator, you keep the same denominator, in this case 8, and the answer is the same denominator 8, and you add the numerators. 5 plus 7 equal 12 divided by 8, and you simplify, divided by 4, and the answer is 3 divided by 2. The second different time is when you have different denominators. In this case, for example, negative 2 divided by 5 plus 1 over 3. In this case, I'm going to use the method named the butterfly method. What is this method? In this case, you multiply the denominators 5 times 3, and this will be the denominator in the answer. In this case, 15. And now you do cross multiplication, beginning from the left side to the top, down. For example, negative 2 times 3 is negative 6. And after that, the cross multiplication is 5 times 1, in this case is 5. And you keep the sign between the two fractions. In this case, minus 6 plus 5 is equal to negative 1 divided by the 15. This is going to be the answers. Another example, 6 divided by 7 plus 5 divided by 8. Different denominator. Using the butterfly method, you multiply the denominator. 7 times 8 is 56. And now you do cross multiplication, starting for the top, for the left side on the top. 6 times 8 is 45. Plus, because you are adding, and you multiply another 2 from the bottom to top, 7 times 5 is 35. And when you add, is 53 divided by 83 divided by 56, and this is going to be the answers. We're going to show you another example how to find the sum of fraction. This case, the same denominator, you keep the same denominator, and now it's addition. You add the numerators. Negative 2 plus 1 is negative 1 over 3. That's the answer. Another example, negative 3 divided by 8 plus negative 5 divided by 8, because you have the same denominator. You keep the denominator, the same denominator, and now you add the numerator because it's addition. Negative 3 plus negative 5, and it's going to be negative 8 divided by 8, and the negative 8 divided by 8 simplified is 1. Number 2, example, different denominator. In this case, we have different denominator. When you have different denominator, you use the butterfly method. 5 times 3 is going to be 15, and you do cross multiplication. Negative 2 times 3 is negative 6, plus, because you're adding, 5 times negative 1 is negative 5, and when you added this, is negative 11 divided by 15. Another example, different denominators. 7 and 5 is the denominators. What are you doing? The same thing. You use the butterfly method. 7 times 5 is 35. 8 times 4 is 40, and 7 times negative 40 is negative 28. And you add this, 12 divided by 35. This is the method of butterfly method. Now, I want to show you another way to add fraction as number using common denominator. Before, to find the common denominator, you need to know how to find the less common factor. For example, we need to find what is the less common factor between 6 and 4. To find, to find the less common factor, you need to find the multiples of 6 and 4. The factor of 6 is 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36, 42, 48, and you continue. The factor of 4 is 4, 8, 12, 14, 20, 24, 28, 32. In this case, we have, this is common factor. This is another common factor, but the less common factor is 12. You can use this way to add fraction. I want to go to show you one example. Suppose you need to find the sum to divide by 6 to divide by 5 plus 5 divided by 6. In this case, we find the factor of 5, we find the factor of 6, and now you find what is the less common factor. The less common factor is 30. Now, the intention now is write in the denominator 2 divided by 5, to write 30 in the denominator. To write 30 in the denominator, you need to multiply by 6. Now, if you multiply the denominator by 6, you need to multiply the numerator by 6. And then 2 times 6 is 12, and 5 times 6 is 30. You do the same thing with 5 divided by 6. To create the denominator 30 in this example, you need to multiply 6 by 5. If you multiply the denominator by 5, you need to multiply the numerator by 5. In this case, 30. In this case, 25. And the fraction now is 25 divided by 30. Now I have the addition of two fractions with the same denominator. What are you doing now? You add the numerator, and the answer is 37 divided by 30. This is another way to add fractions. We're going to do another example. In this case, I have 3 fractions. I'm going to add the 3 fractions. 8 divided by 5 divided by 8 plus 3 divided by 2 plus 9 divided by 3. What are you going to do? You find the factors 8, find the factors 2, find the factors 3, and you're looking for the less common factor, in this case, 24. Then, the first fraction, 8 divided by 5. I need to multiply 8 by 3 to get a 24. If you multiply by 3 in the denominator, you need to multiply by 3 in the numerator, and it's 15 divided by 24. And the 3 divided by 2 is the same thing. To get the 30 in the denominator, you need to multiply, 24, you need to multiply by 2 in the denominator, and you multiply by 12 in the numerator. 36 divided by 24. In this case, I have the same denominator. And the last fractions, I need to multiply 3 by 8 to get 24. If you multiply by 8 in the denominator, you need to multiply by 8 in the numerator, and this 72 divided by 24. Now I have addition of 3 fractional number with the same denominator. What you're going to do? You add the numerators. 123 is the addition of 15 plus 36 plus 72. And now the final answer is 123 divided by 24. 123 divided by 24. This is another way to find the addition of fractions. This is the final answers. Thank you for seeing this video. I'm here, Mr. Denies, to help you in how to find additional fraction. Thank you.